The part of a Bitcoin block that links it to every other block in history is just 80 bytes, smaller than this sentence. The rest of the block can be 50,000 times larger. That tiny header is what makes Bitcoin tamper-evident, and the very first block ever mined contains a buried newspaper headline from January 2009. Let's open it up. A Bitcoin block has 4 parts laid out in order. First, a 4-byte size field declaring how big the block is. Next, the 80-byte header, the cryptographic core. Then a transaction counter telling you how many transactions follow. And finally, the transaction list itself, which can stretch to around 4 megabytes. That transaction list is the payload. The actual ledger entries Bitcoin exists to record. But the header is what binds everything together. It carries the cryptographic fingerprints, the link to the previous block, and the proof of work. Almost every security guarantee Bitcoin offers traces back to those 80 bytes. The body holds the data. The header holds the trust. Zoom into the header and you'll find 6 fields that sum to exactly 80 bytes. Version 4 bytes, which rules the block follows. Previous block hash 32 bytes, the fingerprint of the block before it. Merkle root 32 bytes, a single hash that summarizes every transaction inside this block. Timestamp 4 bytes, roughly when the miner built it. Target 4 bytes, the difficulty threshold the hash must beat. And the nonce 4 bytes. The number miners change while searching for a valid hash. Add them up. 4 plus 32 plus 32 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 80. 2 of these fields do the heavy structural work. The previous block hash chains this block to the one before it. The Merkle root commits to every transaction in the body. Picture the scale. The 80-byte header is about the length of a tweet. The transaction body it commits to can be 50,000 times bigger. Yet change a single byte anywhere in that body, the Merkle root changes. Change the Merkle root, the header changes. Change the header, the hash changes. And so does every hash in every block built on top. That cascade is the whole reason Bitcoin is tamper-evident. Now that we know what's inside, how do we point to a specific block? Bitcoin uses 2 identifiers for a block. The first is the block hash. You take the 80-byte header and run SHA-256 on it twice. That gives you a 32-byte fingerprint globally unique to the header. The Genesis block's hash starts with all those famous leading zeros, 000000000019D 6689C0A5AE1, and continues. Those leading zeros are evidence of proof of work. Here's the nuance most people miss. The block hash is not stored inside the block. Every node computes it fresh from the header when the block arrives. The second identifier is block height. Simply the block's position in the chain. Genesis is height 0. The next block is height 1. By mid-2023, the chain reached height 800,000. Originally, height wasn't recorded anywhere on chain. Nodes just counted. Then BIP34 required miners to embed the height inside the Coinbase transaction, the special transaction that mints new Bitcoin. That fixed the subtle uniqueness bug. But nodes still validate height by counting from Genesis. A BIP, by the way, is a Bitcoin improvement proposal. The formal way protocol changes are specified. Here's why the distinction matters. A block hash is one-to-one with a block, always unique. A block height is positional, and during a fork, 2 competing blocks can share the same height. Imagine 2 miners find a valid block at height n+1 within seconds of each other. Both are real, both have that same height, but their hashes differ. One might start 00000ABC, the other 00000DEF. Only one chain will ultimately survive. Every chain of hashes has to end somewhere. Walk backward from any block following previous block hash pointers, and you eventually land on one specific block. hard-coded into every Bitcoin node on Earth, the Genesis block. It's the only block no one had to mine into consensus. It ships with the software. That's what makes trustless verification possible. Every node already agrees on the root. From there, you verify every link forward, all 800,000 plus of them, with nothing but math. Satoshi did one more thing in the Genesis block. Inside its Coinbase transaction, the transaction that minted the first 50 Bitcoin, he embedded a string of text. The Times, 03 January 2009. Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. That headline served two purposes. It proved the block could not have been mined before that date, a cryptographic timestamp, and it was an ideological statement mined into the foundation of Bitcoin during the depths of the 2008 financial crisis. One hard-coded block, 80 bytes of header per link, a chain anyone can verify from scratch.